How's that? Okay, so we will say ready for custom link command. I'm going to make a message for that. And we will say array object files static array libraries. Seems reasonable. Except I already screwed it up. Unknown overrides? What? Oh, static array 64. Okay. So what's going on is, the other day when we were streaming, I noticed when we were overhauling the way that the linker ran or something, I was refactoring it and I saw, oh, there's this code in there for this old way that we used to run custom link steps, and it was wrong. I mean, like it was old and no longer worked, and we had never made a test for it. But it wasn't really the right thing anyway, because it was this weird callback thing where you return strings to the compiler, and the compiler would like run some commands. And I thought, wouldn't it be better to make it not be a weird callback, but just the compiler gives you a message like, okay, whatever link command you want to run, do that. And then you can run as many steps as you want with as much logic in between as you want. So we are restructuring the way that that works. And then when it's done, I'll be able to make Sokoban use LLD in the fast build where we don't care about debug info, and then use link.exe in the debug build where we do. And then the fast build will be faster because LLD is faster than link.exe. That'll be our test of this functionality. Sorry, I've been streaming too much. I know. But we're getting work done, so it's all good. Okay, so this message is going to replace pre-write executable. So pre-write executable is what the compiler says when it's like, okay, we're about to do our own, like hard-coded link step. But then if you replace that, you'll get this instead. So we're going to go there. But our internal tracking will use the same variable. So this is like our state system. Okay. So if build options dot, we're going to have to add this build options variable, dot use custom link command, do something else, we do all the old stuff. This time, we will say it's compiler message. What did we just call it? Well, it's still compilation phase. Instead of pre-write executable, it is ready for custom link command. Wait, Okay. So if that's the way we're doing it, then we're just going to not make this be a separate thing. We're just going to put these down here. Okay. And then so in run external programs, we have our run linkers. And this is sort of the thing that so we're just going to make a thing in this file because this is the file that sort of knows what all the object file names and stuff are. We're going to say populate custom link command arrays or something like that. So that we don't have to paste all this unrelated code here. Object files, message libraries, run external programs. Okay. So we're going to do that. We're not going to define that yet because we also need to not run the link command. Right, so this run linker, I think that's happening in main, run linker. So, oh boy. This actually doesn't work to do this here. The problem being that we need to do it here. Oh, we're basically almost in the same place here. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, we're going to do something here to just skip over this. And oh boy, we're going to have to refactor this phase loop at some point, but run linker. Okay, so here we will say if interp build options use custom link command, we do something, otherwise we do this stuff and call And post-write executable is only something we do if we do the default. And then writing out all this debug info, who the hell knows? Okay. So if we use custom link command, that's when we want to send this message here. Whoops. Here. Now here, maybe we just pre-write executable is kind of a useless message. I don't understand. Well, yeah, we'll have it. We'll keep it for now. It's kind of useless right now. We need to figure out how to make it useful. So the way that we know whether we can go to the next phase here is, whether or not these variables are set. So we're just going to pretend we sent this message out and that it was received. So skip pre-write executable by faking a send and receive. Okay. So we just skip that. And then we go to building the executable. Now, once we send this message that so all this stuff happens. We're going to want to refactor all this. So all this stuff happens. And now we're down here. If we use a custom link command, I mean, we're just going to printf all this stuff no matter what. We're just going to dump it out. And so after we say, okay, do your custom link command, we wait on the other guy before we say sent message complete. Wait for the user level program to say they are done, because they could be doing an arbitrary amount of asynchronous stuff. And I guess we'll sleep here. So if we're waiting, if phase custom link command is done, then return, what are we supposed to return? True? Return true. Sleep, how do I sleep in here? OS sleep. 20 milliseconds, whatever. Okay. So now I'm going to compile, and it's going to complain that several of these variables are not declared. I haven't declared use custom link command. I haven't declared custom link command is done. How's chat doing? The people asking about the Emacs config, it doesn't make sense to me because the colors are right there on the screen. If you want to know what the colors are, screenshot it and then get the little eyedropper in your favorite paint program and sample the colors. Like, what do you want? What do you want from me? They're not even that good. So like this is too bright. I don't even know what it means. It's just noise. All right. Yeah, the eye tracker seems to get miscalibrated sometimes. Right now, if I look in the upper left corner, it doesn't seem to track very well in that direction. Maybe it's the light in the room. Maybe I need to set up a special room. Okay. Yes, as we said, it's in the usual C++ way, it's complaining about many things that have nothing to do with anything. Oh. Well, that has to do with some things. Okay. Let's declare. Not enough messages for format string. That's just it going haywire. All right, I think. Okay, so build options. What is that called? I need to just call it build options, not compiler settings. So we're going to do two things here. We're going to get rid of this getAssemble command proc and getLink command proc because those are the deprecated things that I noticed before. And then we're going to say bool use custom link command equals. What is this Visual Studio message for? Oh, that's for error reporting. Use custom link command equals false. Okay, we have to go into compiler now, which is the user facing, and edit these. Output type. Use custom link command is false. Okay. We want to get rid of these get link commands and get assemble commands. And our phase message needs to have that stuff. So, because people need to be able to use this. So after linker exit code, we have object files is an array of string. Libraries is an array of string. It's not capital S, lowercase s. And we will copy this comment. And ready for custom link commands is 5, bro. What's the time right now? 9:11 a.m. Have I considered anonymous use once functions? Basically a scope with very clearly defined imports. We're going to have some features relating to imports at some point. But actually Lambda type stuff is not the most important thing there, so I don't want to design it around Lambdas. The most important thing is namespace restrictions generally so that you know what your code is doing. Long story. We'll get to it at some point. Get link command proc. Right. So, well, actually, I forgot to do something in the user code. Custom. So my example link command, well, we'll just comment it out. I guess I'm not using that. Assemble, compile with Clang. That's a C file. Let's just get rid of that. We don't want that. This will remind me what, well, I don't know what the LLD options are, so I'm going to have to look that up in our other things. Okay, so get link command proc. So this part where you say maybe there's a proc is gone. And in fact, so all of this is going to collapse down. Let me go to Emacs again so I can use a reasonable editor. So these just say run default. Oh, well, okay, they call the same thing. Never mind. I don't know why that was commented out. Wait, we're not even using this. I'm not even using that. Okay. It's still complaining about the format string. OS sleep. Is that what? Do we not have? All right, iced tea. Now, we keep fixing compiler errors. So that we'll fix all the compiler errors, and then I still haven't defined that function that populates the arrays. So then we'll get a link error, and then we'll fix that, and then who knows what's wrong. Okay, pre-link time undeclared. I don't know why that's there. Let's find out. Oh, because it's in a different scope. Let's factor this into report final stats, right? And then down here, once the custom link command is done, we'll say report final stats. Because we want to know how long the linker takes for our custom code versus other. So of course, we're going to need to store the pre-link time somewhere. Let's just see what this complains about. Maybe there's, well, first I should probably pass the interp. And then we'll just sort of copy this. So we'll report the front end time no matter what. Still going to be a mess. Okay, pre-link time, front end time. What the hell? Why is it saying no variadic arguments were provided? Oh, because that This is the worst thing about C++. Her messages have never been good. Okay. Like, it's so, like, just put a poison value here. This has been understood for decades. Of course, I don't do it either, but the reason I don't do it yet is because we stop after one error message no matter what, which is not always the best thing. Okay. Okay. We need front end time and pre-link time. That's not so bad. Where do those get set? Okay. What does that return? Double. All right. Custom link command is done. Is not a member of compilation phase. Okay, so now maybe we just get our link error that our populate function is not done. Yep. So that was in run external programs. Add lib strings. Okay, so now each back end, okay, there's our LLD, which I will want. So we're going to want to factor this apart. So we're going to say backend get object files. And then we'll say, let's call this ob strings. Let's put this. This is items. Probably need a cast there. Okay, so then backend, whatever is defined in run external programs. Okay. So now we need that. And then we still haven't added a way for the user program to tell the compiler that it's done with its custom link commands. You took up programming after stopping studying law. You graduated with a first-class degree in a few weeks' time, or will graduate, so thanks so much. Well, right on. Hopefully you like programming more than law. Is there ever a reason to use public-private? Not so much. I mean, the idea is that on large projects, you want to prevent people from screwing up what they're doing because they don't understand the code as well, right? Or you want to communicate more effectively how people should interface with stuff, which is a legit problem. But on smaller projects, I've just never found it to be very useful. And even on big projects, I suspect the right way to do that is a different thing. So I don't use private like ever. You seem to be stuck in a consumption rut. You end up using all your day just consuming video streams, articles, while you see people getting shit done. How do you get out of the consumption mindset? Well, you have to be excited about wanting to do something. And maybe that's because you don't have any ideas, in which case consumption is not that bad because it'll help you generate ideas. But, maybe it's mental, generally mental or physiological, right? Like maybe you're, if you're not getting exercise, you'll be in a bad mood all the time and you'll be depressed and that's a well understood thing. What else? If you're not giving your mind time to rest, it's hard to have ideas to be excited about, right? So if you're just watching things all the time and you're never like just chilling, then there's no way for ideas to bubble up in your mind about what you would like to do. So some people are sort of unhappy with their current thing that's going on in their life, but they don't want to confront that. So then they drown out any possibility for their mind to raise objections by just filling it with input all the time. I don't know if that's what you're doing. I'm just saying that's a strategy that some people have. When in fact, if you just stop for a bit and you let your mind say what it has to say to you, you find it's really not that bad. And it's actually a relief because you're like, okay, it's less stress because suppressing things takes a great deal of effort, actually. I don't know, random thoughts about different people's situations. I don't know how much of any of that applies to you. Okay. I want to go to the office around 10, and that's half an hour from now. So I don't know if we'll completely finish this, but I want to at least get it compiling so that we didn't break any old stuff. And then, whether or not we finish getting a custom link command running, we'll see. Okay. So we want to factor this into a thing that gets the object files. And we need to do that both in... Oh, wait. Okay, so we only have one definition of this. That makes it easier. Okay. Oh, no. We actually have a number. Okay. I'm going to, so that we don't have to put this everywhere, I'm going to put the object files thing back over. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to say backend get object files interp arguments, except what about the main object file? That's in target file name. Wait, no. Who calls this? Output file name, no extension. What? Of course, we removed our compiler. Like, this will take 30 seconds because it's the frickin' debug. Oh, we have the telemetry build. Oh, it's not going to work because we changed the sizes of our compiler structs. Yeah. We can't even run an old build because of that until we finish. So, oh, backend. No, that's the thing I just added. We're going to call this add ob strings because the other one is add lib strings. Right? And like, it's the same thing. Now, I'm confused by this target file name situation, but let's just do this. We'll fix that maybe later. Ah! This add lib strings has shit that's not libraries in it. This is supposed to be so I'm just going to make this work in Windows because all this crazy balls stuff. to custom, let me paste this before I wreck it. Okay, to custom, to user level build commands. The Linux Mac OS stuff looks pretty complicated, so I am not going to attempt to change that. We'll just factor out the Windows part for now. May 2018. Okay. So this is going to be add ob strings. Okay, that's that. And then for add lib strings, what I'm saying is oh wait, that's not there. That would be run default link commands. Backend get default link command. Okay, something like that. Wait, what? What did I do here? Get default link command. Oh, that's Linux. That's Linux. It's not the right place. Add ob strings. Where does that live? So the Linux build here is going to break too. Backend get object files. That's not what that's called. Okay, well, who knows if any of that works? Well, hey, I think it did. I mean, the functionality doesn't work, but we didn't break anything. We successfully factored it. Well, we didn't break anything in Windows. Hell if I know about Linux. It's probably best if I make custom build completely work, and then when Josh goes to do the Linux one, he can do that. So let's do this. So in our meta program now, this is the exciting part. Get rid of the chess first because I'm not editing that. So we are so if we get a compilation message, so what message is it? So it could be this. It could be, what do we call it? Ready for custom link command. Okay. Run custom link command. Well, we need the message. Well, let's just print out the strings. And then when we set the build options for the fast build, we want to set the option that says whatever we called it. Use custom link command. Like that. Okay. We crashed. In add ob strings. Let's just take a look at that. Build breakpoints. Oh, we got so much work done this week. We made the compiler so much better. Let's delete all the breakpoint. Why do we have all these breakpoints? Stupid. Thanks for honking out there. Debug build takes 30 seconds. Unconvert slashes on a null pointer. Interp output file name. No extension. I guess we only set that when we run the custom or the non-custom link commands. Okay, set output file name. Yeah, we're doing that in pre-write executable. Okay. Okay. Those odd file names to user code. Okay, so this stuff is just here, like that. Let's just see if we crash again. Running the debugger. How's chat doing? How hard would it be to convert to a pixel perfect movement system? You don't actually want to draw things on pixel perfect coordinates. It'll look jittery. Currently studying mathematics on university and working on leaving it. However, I know that we will learn about Fourier transforms next semester. And I have the impression that they're very useful for programmers creating software. Do you know if I'm wrong about this? No, Fourier transforms are super useful. If you're hating university, I would question the idea that you need to stay a whole semester to learn Fourier transforms in one class, because it is a topic that you can learn on the internet. Unless you just have a hard time self-guiding. Okay, so we got our object files, we got our libraries, and now we are infinite looping because we're not telling the compiler that we are done. So let's do that. Let's make a thing called compiler custom link command is complete. Where's our declarations for these things? Here we go. Compiler custom link command is complete. So we call this, and that will, well, look at all this. All these functions you can call. We're just setting our lambda. Setting our lambda. Okay. All right, well, I guess we say actually on what workspace. W workspace. What's another command that takes a workspace? Attempt to complete custom link command. All right. Phase mutex. If phase custom link command is done, report error. Calling compiler custom link command is complete, but it's already been called. Workspace %d. Else this is true. Something like that. I feel like I was pretty sloppy about that. Maybe that's wrong. Phase mutex. Target. Scoped lock, phase lock. We shouldn't grab a mutex inside another mutex like that. So we should do this and put a scope here and do that and that. Let's use the exact name of the procedure so that people aren't mystified about what the hell I am talking about. Okay, phase lock. Okay. Workspace handle. How do I get workspace handle? There we go. We're coming up on 10 o'clock. Yeah, I said I want to go to the office around 10 o'clock, and we're not there yet, but we're close. Okay. There we go. So it's really not much of a step to go one more and just do the LLD options. Even if it takes me to 10:15, it's fine. So where was backend get whatever? OS specific. Okay, so we're going to go into first and say before I check in, I want to fix this. I think it's in bin. Well, okay, if OS Windows, there, if OS Mac OS, LD Mac OS X, if OS Linux, okay, and then LD exe name, okay. So let's try that out. Undeclared identifier. OS Mac OS, because it's OS Mac OS X. Mac OS X. Okay, LD, object files, libraries. Okay, so now I'm going to say print %new line concatenate m.object files with a space, right? And then for libraries, wait, is concatenate? Someone frickin' change concatenate on me. input. Oh, it's a dot dot. Okay. Why did object files? Oh, because it's x64 this time, so there's only one object file. That's great. Okay, object files library. So you can see we're building our way towards a command line. Okay, so now we're going to say arguments array add arguments ld exe name for m.object files array add arguments it m.libraries we're going to say dash flavor link. Then I guess LLD takes all this other stuff. Target file name. Okay, so the object files go here. And then I'm going to say print link line concatenate arguments with space. Oh, well, that's not. It's not called BO dynamic library. It's okay. Link line, LLD, flavor link, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is good. Let's remove this and this. Okay, so now we just have to run that. Look, if we don't run the linker, we're done in 0.6 seconds. Isn't that great? So now, how do we run things? I forget. Who frickin' calls this? File utilities? OS run command. Okay. Maybe it did it. No. Why not? It's trying to do it. Oh, it didn't put it in run tree. It put it here. Or somewhere. It put it. So we changed the working folder. Let's just, okay. Since we're hard coding this. Nope. Why are we getting no output? Okay, wait. Let's stop printing the link line as well so that we... Success true, exit code 1. This should be exit code 0, right? How... Is there a verbose flag to pass to LLD to ask it what's going wrong? It's about time for me to go to work, so we may just have to postpone this last part till later because we have to figure out exactly what the LLD command line should be, like what I'm getting wrong, and then we have to make these names not be hard-coded, and then we have to send Josh the email apologizing that I broke the Mac OS in Linux, but it shouldn't be that hard to fix. But I think that's it. I think that's it for this stream. We have basically finished this feature. I'm going to change my note on the to-do list from implementing custom link command to custom link command finish example. LLD verbose option. So why is it so hard to even figure out? I don't want to know how to compile LLD. I want to... LLD Like it's not printing an error message. I don't think that's because console output is blocked in any way. Might be. LD exit code. Like, no, but I'm searching for this stuff and I'm just getting a bunch of unrelated. This is the problem with open source. Oh my God, what a nightmare. Okay. Dash dash verbose. Okay. Ay, 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 ay. Well, either it didn't say anything or console output is being squished for some reason, but I think when we call system, it should just print the console output. So I think we're going to leave it there for now, and when we come back, we will figure this out and replace the hard coding. Any final on-topic questions before I go to work today? Chat is never very good about on-topic questions, we'll say that. That's pretty good. We got a feature done. I mean, pretty much done. We just have to prove that it's done by making the LLD work. I mean, it looks like this might have rotted a little bit, but it looks like we run LLD dash flavor link / no logo, which I guess, you know, this is like emulating Visual Studio's command options. They're trying to be command line compatible, I guess. Target file name. Lib strings, or object strings. We're not saying /out. We didn't do that part. All right. What we really should do, since we're running LLD, yeah. To use platform independent options rather than the Windows emulation options. That way we will not need to have a bunch of if in here for different OSs. However, for the sake of just making this work right this second, tprint out %, comma, target file name. And let's print the link line just so we can see. Okay, let's just see if that worked. Exit code 1 still. So when we come back, we're going to read the man page for LLD and figure out what options it really wants anyway. And make that work. It's possible that it's not outputting to the file I think it's outputting to, but Now we say out this. Oh. Nope, it's still 9:41 a.m. So it's not, we specifically said go there, and it's giving us probably the same error. So, you know, we just got to figure that out. Can you use string for building long commands like that? Well, there's two things going on. So one is, even though in Windows you call system on a thing with a bunch of spaces, that's an ambiguous, crappy thing to do. So whenever I build command lines, I like it to make it clear that these are separate arguments, because you might have an argument that has a file name with a space in it, right? Or something like that. So I always build the separate arguments and then pass it to a thing. And yes, it looks more, you know, you'd rather maybe say dash dash verbose space dash flavor link and not have all this. But I am all in favor of doing the formal, obviously correct thing rather than the crappy, potentially ambiguous thing. So I wouldn't use that. Okay, thanks everyone for stopping by. I'm going to go to work and is the double quote on purpose on last error message about incomplete custom command. Last error message on incomplete custom command. I don't know. Incomplete custom command? Do you mean? I don't see a double quote anywhere. I don't know what you're talking about. Double line ending. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. We can. All right. Thanks everybody for coming by. We will finish this up tonight probably. See you later.